Hi everyone. This video has been generated with AI. I chose to do this because I don't have the energy to film myself. And also, I don't feel comfortable with the possibility of my coworkers or managers coming across my videos.
In this video, I want to talk about positive stories of using Lamotrigine for treatment of unipolar depression. The first psych med that I ever tried was mirtazapine back in 2015. I was quite hopeful because it was prescribed by a psychiatrist at a hospital, so I assumed that they must have selected it specifically for my case and that they knew it would help. I was not aware yet of how much trial and error there is in psychiatry. 9 years later, when I was prescribed Lamotrigine in 2024, I was not hopeful. It was just another medication that I was going to try, after more than a dozen that I have already tried, and none of them have been helpful. It was spring when I started Lamotrigine, and I remember riding in the car, looking out of the window, and I suddenly noticed how beautiful the sunlight was. Maybe because the winter is over, I thought. But the way the sunlight fell on tree branches and the houses, it was very interesting and made me want to capture it, to paint it. I realized then that I did not feel as dull as I did on the days previously, and that I had a lot more interest in my surroundings. I have since then continued to take a low dose of Lamotrigine. Increasing the dose did not work out for me, as it increased my intrusive thoughts and did not make me feel better. The low dose has definitely been helpful for my unipolar depression. What is interesting to me is that this medication has been so effective for me, yet for some reason I have never heard of it until 2024, while I have tried all sorts of psych meds since 2015. I assume that a lot of you who are being treated for depression have also not heard of Lamotrigine. I want to bring more awareness about it. It's quite an inexpensive medication, and it is mostly used for controlling seizures and for treating depression in bipolar disorder. It is not often used as an antidepressant in unipolar depression, even though several studies show that it helped some individuals with treatment-resistant depression. I have collected some reviews of Lamotrigine from online posts that I want to share here. I tried to filter out those posts that mention bipolar disorder, as I specifically wanted to look at experiences with Lamotrigine of those individuals who were diagnosed with depression, not bipolar disorder. In this video, I will be focusing on just the positive experiences mostly. Let's get started. Experience number 1. Young male treated for depression. I've been on lamictal for 4 years now. In these 4 years, my life changed drastically. My depression is gone and my suicidal ideations have stopped, nor am suicidal anymore. Risky behavior and deliberate exposure to life-threatening situations are gone. The feeling of emptiness is gone. I have completely stopped drinking alcohol and stopped taking drugs. Kind of. More on that later on. My relationship with friends and family improved. The state of my mind and my well-being improved overall. I work, I travel, and I'm happy and satisfied with my life. Side effects the person has been experiencing: low libido and erectile dysfunction. Second experience has some positives and negatives. Personally, I think playing around with the dose is important. This individual is taking 100 milligrams. I found that for me, any dose over 50 milligrams made me feel dull, as they describe, and also increased my intrusive thoughts. I've been taking Lamotrigine 100 milligrams for my mood instability for about 2 years now, following a very bad depressive episode I had after a breakup. I felt like life was nothing, cried every day for months, and thought the way I felt would never end, and I couldn't leave my bed. I was very self-destructive and sabotaging to the point I was hurting those around me. I've never felt that way in my life and wish it on no one. After a series of trying several SSRIs and anti-anxiety medication, Lamotrigine was the only thing that seemed to help clear up my head and make life more tolerable, and that I had control over my actions. No impulse. But I feel dull. I don't know how to explain it. I feel extremely depressed, even though I am not in that state I was in. No one would describe me as depressed. I laugh, I can be silly, I'm still who I am, and it's not entirely lost. I work on personal projects and I do well in school. I am in an extremely healthy relationship with someone I am considering to even marry one day, although I'm not done with college yet, so that's far in the future. I can shower, I get out of bed, I clean, and I'm productive. Most of the time. I have bad days, which is normal, and never on the extreme, but I feel like I am on autopilot mode almost. To the point I'm just going through motions and then I'll randomly remember I'm a real person and I am actually doing things. I think in this case, the person could try a lower dose and see how they feel. Lamotrigine is known for causing dulled feelings for some people, depending on the dose, which is also very individual.
Experience number 3. This person was clearly doing better on Lamotrigine, and for some reason, they decided to taper down and got worse. I think if you find a med that is finally working for you, please stay on it. 1 full month in, I quit smoking weed and was able to step into a bus again. My depression was actually not as bad, even though I really did go through a shitty couple things back then, and was able to reason with myself a lot better and put things in perspective in a way I hadn't been able to do. I was working on myself, feeling better, but also feeling less. Every emotion seemed to be observed from helicopter view. I felt it, I stepped away and analyzed it, instead of feeling it and then rationalized it and waited it out. But I feel like I wasn't necessarily processing them. They just went away. Either way, I was doing better. Only had one relapse with my weed use those 8 months, and it was all great, except for my robotic way of handling stuff. My therapy ended. I'm now working on getting my BPD diagnosis removed and would start working again. Worked out 5 days a week, was on a good healthy diet, walked a lot, didn't smoke, weed and six, drink or binge eat anymore, was very social, could handle stimuli, etc. As I wanted to just gap a bridge with these meds until I felt secure to do it myself, I started decreasing them. I went from 150 milligrams to 25 milligrams and already had my final consult with the prescribing psychiatrist a while back. Since building off, I've noticed a big increase in insecurity, irritability, impulsiveness, depression, and anxiety instantly. Experience number 4. This person tried Lamotrigine once, and it did not work, but had a very positive experience the second time they tried it. Lamotrigine did nothing except give me insomnia while titrating up to 75 milligrams. I tried it again 6 months later, taking it in the morning, and after jumping from 50 to 100 milligrams, it started working amazingly well for my mood instability, depressive episodes, probably cyclothymia, and general pointlessness. Huge win! I've heard Lamotrigine being described as a rope you can grab onto that helps keep you from falling and lets you climb back up. And I couldn't agree more, honestly. I've had virtually no side effects, and taking it in the morning seems to energize me, if anything. I've not had another downswing since. It's been 2 weeks since I started 100 milligrams, and it really has been fantastic. Experience number 5. This person had a positive experience with a combination of Lamotrigine and Vyvanse. My doctor currently has me on Lamotrigine and Vyvanse. The former seems to stabilize my mood well, and the latter helps significantly with motivation and getting things done. More importantly, the medications have allowed me to start forming habits to help me thrive and not just survive. Like I said earlier, I've tried dozens of medications. Adderall and Ritalin simply didn't work for various reasons. I tried every depression medication with horrible side effects, and even attempted Abilify, but it caused awful restlessness. I'm typing this up to try and show there is hope. It took me years to find something, but there is relief out there. Don't give up on your search. I got my butt kicked by brain saps, quelled an Adderall dependence, and fought through a disease that almost killed me. Please do not stop fight. Again and seeking. The relief could be right around the next corner. I can actually be a husband and dad again. Life is finally showing color again. No, things aren't perfect. There are setbacks. But now setbacks are short-term hurdles that don't seem impossible to conquer. It has been almost a full year on these 2 medications, and I can finally say my life is truly worth living again.
I can't stress this enough. I know the true hell that a lot of you experience on a daily basis. It can be brutally debilitating and inconceivable, but there might truly be hope for you. Don't give up. Life can be worth living again, even if you can't find a reason for it right now. These are all of the experiences that I wanted to share. I spent 9 years trying different med combinations until I was prescribed Lamotrigine and it actually worked. It was never suggested to me before that, and I have never heard of it. I hope that this video might help someone to find a relief from their depression sooner.